Hi everybody and welcome to the 5 Bytes podcast. I'm your host, Rory Monahan. It was a week of ups and downs for Microsoft's cloud ventures, with Mark Russinovich appearing on Sky News in Australia discussing security and data privacy, vowing that Microsoft do not sell insight into users' data. It was a good look considering recent events. Microsoft also started rolling out some great new Office 365 features, a OneDrive file restore, ransomware protection, and Outlook.com encryption, with the promise of password-protected OneDrive links coming within the next few weeks. The file restore feature will be very handy if you delete a file and need to restore it a week or two later. OneDrive can now simply restore files from any point in time within the last 30 days. Now, a considerable down for the week was the fact that Office 365 had an outage which affected hundreds of users on Friday, with many expressing their frustrations on Twitter. The outage lasted for several hours and is a reminder of the trust and dependency you have on a vendor when moving to the cloud. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella also announced this week, or confirmed this week, that Microsoft will invest $5 billion into IoT, Internet of Things, a further commitment to embracing IoT and artificial intelligence to transform their business. In other news, and the last Microsoft-related news for this episode, SetupDiag.exe was released this week, which is a standalone diagnostic tool that can be used to obtain details about why a Windows 10 upgrade was unsuccessful. SetupDiag works by examining Windows setup log files. SetupDiag can be run on the computer that failed to update, or you can export logs from the computer to another location and run SetupDiag in offline mode. For tech workers overseas who may have been looking at an opportunity to relocate to the US, unfortunately, after just 5 days, the H-1B visa program for this year of 2018 was closed and will not reopen until April of 2019. Git version 2.16.2 released and now has an option to set Visual Studio Code as the default editor. You may recall in episode 2 of this podcast, I mentioned that PowerShell ICE will not be getting future updates and there will be a move forward towards standardizing on Visual Studio Code, so this aligns nicely with that. The ever-popular Cloudfare released their first ever consumer product. 1.1.1.1 has been set up as the internet's fastest DNS directory. Cloudfare's new DNS Resolver not only boasts improving your internet browsing experience, but also provides enhanced security by running DNS over HTTPS with TLS 1.3 on a massive global network with correctly aligned incentives. You may recall in last week's episode I covered the fact that TLS 1.3 was blessed as a new internet standard. Cloudflare's DNS directory is over twice as quick to resolve as Google's public DNS. You can try it out for yourself today. Intel have completed releases of their Spectre patches, and it appears they may be canceling patches for older processors, mainly Core 2 processors. In a statement, Intel stated this decision was due to limited ecosystem support and customer feedback, whatever the hell that means. Citrix have announced they have expanded cloud services in the Asia-Pacific region. And for those in the community who may want to attend Citrix Synergy but are having a difficult time convincing their management to approve, there are several avenues for getting a discount code or receiving a special offer. There's a discount code on offer from Zentegra, which you can find on Twitter, and I'll include links, as I always do for each episode, in my YouTube description and also on my site. There's also a discount code for CUGC members, as well as just an open special offer, buy one get one free pass. And for those who will be attending, I'll be taking place in a fireside chat with industry legend Ron Oglesby. So drop by for a quick 30-minute chat about application virtualization, application layering. In your agenda will be session number SYN410 and should be taking place, unless it's subject to change, on May 8th around 2:45 p.m. See you guys there. Also announced by Citrix this week was the release of Citrix App Layering version 4.10 or 4.10, which now supports Windows 10 v1709. And now for this week's Hot Jobs. There's a senior application security consultant role with AppSec Consulting available. This position will be based out of San Jose, California, although remote positions are available for the right candidates. The successful candidate will be conducting application security assessments and penetration tests. They'll be writing a formal security assessment report for each application and retesting security vulnerabilities that have been fixed and republishing reports. You must have several years of experience developing web and/or mobile applications, a knowledge of the HTTP protocol, experience performing application security testing using manual techniques, and experience with network infrastructure level penetration testing. This week I also wanted to highlight a job I came across with Microsoft, just because I feel like it's a pretty dream opportunity. It's not one that I could apply for. It's for senior program manager in gaming, in the gaming division. The correct candidate will have several years of management or program management experience, so it's an excellent opportunity for anybody who's passionate about gaming and currently works in a program manager capacity in the tech industry. And now for this episode's scripts, tricks, and tips. This week is more of a tip. It's a PowerShell commandlet featured by my buddy David O'Brien on his blog. It's a PowerShell commandlet that you can run to view all of the features in your Windows 10 device and what state they're in, whether they're enabled or disabled, and it displays in a really nice format. For those listening on SoundCloud or a different audio-only version of the podcast, you can view a brief demo of this commandlet on the YouTube version of this episode. And as always, links can be found on rorymon.com and on the YouTube description. Thank you very much for listening.